Good afternoon, everyone, and my name is Yuwen Feng, and I'm a master's student of Sustainability and Business at the University of Leeds. Today, I'm going to share my project on recycling plastic waste called Art of Plastic. This project mainly focuses on the plastic reuse and recycling. It is connected to a business plan. So nowadays, at least about 40 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year, and the plastic accounts for 80% of all marine litter from surface water to deep sea sediments. But still, we have not yet reached the peak plastic pollution. It is expected to happen in 2100 as it is linked to the population, like economic growth and the projected increase in per capita consumption. Under the influence of ultraviolet radiation from the sun, like wind currents and other natural factors, plastic will break down into small particles called microplastic or non-plastic. This kind of small-sized microplastics makes them vulnerable to accidental ingestion by marine life. As the Per Emulate report, Breaking the Plastic Wave said that plastic pollution alerts habitats, harm wildlife, and damage ecosystem functions and service. So most of plastic is found along coastlines on all continents, with more plastic waste found near popular tourism destinations and densely populated areas. Plastic pollution in marine ecosystems has been a problem since the mid 1970s, and at the time, marine plastic debris came from marine ship discharges, accidents at sea, and military operations. At the same time, with the development of fast fashion, some plastic pollution was caused by clothing. The raw materials in clothing and plastics are the same kinds of chemicals, which are petroleum-based organic polymers. Thus, discarded clothing further contributes to plastic pollution, aggregating the occurrence of environmental pollution. And there will be a short video show that how can we turn the waste into the environmental pollution. Just hold a minute. Well, and let's keep sharing. Well, during our further investigations, we found that the link between plastic and fast fashions, a material called PET, is present in both clothing and plastic. PET means polyethylene and terephthalate. It accounts for about 60% use in clothing and 30% use in water bottles manufacturing. PET is made from oil and it consumes a lot of energy, release carbon dioxide as well as acid and ammonia into the water. Compared to it, we found that recycled polyesters use 60% less energy than the original material, and it can be made from textile waste. Nowadays, most of recycled polyester used in clothing comes from recycled plastic bottles, which are sorted, mechanically treated, and converted into remelt rPET pellets and extruded into new fibers. Sustainable Development Goals 13, 14, and 15 are related to addressing plastic concerns. As the study focused on marine plastic pollution, Goal 40 was given more attention. The UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development calls for actions to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources. By 2025, prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, particularly from land-based activities, including marine debris and nutrient pollutions. Like all studies show that there are more than 8.3 billion tons of plastic has been generated, whereas just 9% of them has been recycled. Others being burned or just dumped into the environment since 1950s. So we think that the governments, research institutions, and industry need to work together to redesign the products, rethink their use and disposal to reduce the microplastic waste from pellets like synthetic textiles and tires. Consumer and society must move more sustainable consumption patterns because like overconsumption and overproduction is the main reason for plastic pollution. This will require the solution that go beyond waste management and consider the entire life cycle of plastic products. Consequently, sustainable fashion management has become one of the most aggressive topics for environmentalists in the 21st century. Meanwhile, circular economic has also attracted a lot of attention. Like circular economic seems like a promising concept in the business world. Circular economy is mainly based on the transaction to renewable energy and materials, with three principles which show behind. And there will be a short videos about business plan of plastics.
Hi, Yuwen. We seem to have lost your audio. Yeah.
Can we see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We haven't got any sound though.
Yeah, so our project is about the circular economic concept like the video shows. And for art of plastics, um, the meaningful where is the value proposition, which means we want to offer the unique experience to customers on clothing. Yep, sorry. So Art of Practice logo is showed on the left in many use blue, and we can notice that the wave lines surrounding the logo represent the ocean and plastics, which are affecting our lives all the time. And the pattern in the middle indicates that the company's main product is clothes. This logo symbolizes the original aim of environmental friendly firm as well as the business idea of our gorgeous clothes are all made from recycled plastic. And for the market research, the revenue of global recycled plastic markets tend to reach 50 billion pounds in 2027. Even considering the factor of COVID-19, there's still focus to reach 5.4% of compound growth rates during 2020 to 2027. Also, with the increasing concern of waste management, a great demand for recycled plastic use, with 5.3% tons of recycled plastic material being collected in 2019. It is expected to remain to grow in the next 5 years. Regarding to the promotion channel, to reduce the cost and maximize the profit, social media as a communication technology and digital system enable small and medium entrepreneurs like Art of Plastics to advertise their products. So I think it is a new trend and a circular economic opportunities that individual can be engaged in the circular economic. So therefore, there is a market opportunity for small entrepreneurs to fill gaps in the reclaim use market and start from using the recycled material. Art of Plastics considers Sustainable Development Goals of 12 and 14, basically address the responsible consumption, production problems, as well as marine pollution. Considering the funding is an important part of integrating business and the environment project, Art of Plastics initial risk analyze mainly focus on accessible investments and risk assessment because it is in the conception stage of the entrepreneurial life cycle. Private investment, personal saving, and investment from family and friends are more realistic and accessible for entrepreneurship. So the break-even estimates to grow to show up after 4 months of promising operations. Both based on the analysis of possible cost opportunities and challenges in operating the project, we conclude that the raw material, like plastic bottles, are a large global waste stream and a relatively cheap, clean, and low chemical content materials that helps align operations with green values, opens up access to expertise and lead to the product differentiations as well as marketing opportunities. However, there are disadvantages like the investment need to be scaled up quickly if recycling targets need to be achieved. And the technology issues is another problem. Like fiber blends are very difficult to separate, additional product steps and chemical applications can raise the price of the fibers and products. But we can also see that a lot of solutions are always being upgraded. In order to minimize the impact of high technology costs, we can also refer to the case study of H&M. Bottle to Faction is part of H&M Plastic Recycling on Sale, the H&M Children's Collection, which are launched on January, transforms around 3.5 million PET bottles into recycled polyester, blended with organic and recycled cotton. The sustainable fibers are then used to make everyday children's clothing in fashion-forward colors and styles. In terms of the stakeholder cooperation, H&M has also joined forces with Danone Equid to launch the latest children collection. They have partnered with Warmth Again technology to explain the dual extractions of PET and cellulose from textiles and plastics, with an investment about £7.1 million. Also, they injected funds into the Hong Kong Research and Development Institute of Textile and Apparel to cooperate on the development of two polyester cotton recycling systems. So H&M obtained means a great success due to the several prongs of marketing, reduce pollution, increase employment rates, and they also build a good partnerships. So we can conclude that the sustainability is not just one-side material recycling or just a single business plan. It is like a comprehensive process that often combine with different sectors. So with the reference to the H&M case, we found that the plastic fraction is feasible and it is already being implicated by major international companies. However, for entrepreneurial ideas out of plastics, there will be many additional expenses that are anticipated in the early stage of a business. So seeking all kinds of funding in order to be profitable can be a long-term project under the concept of sustainability. So that's all for today's presentation. Thank you all for listening.